Hello all, myself Dr.V.KOKILA, Assistant Professor of Commerce from A.D.M.COLLEGE for Women, Autonomous Nagapattinam for second M.Com in International Business subject. I am going to talk about Introduction to International Business, Nature of International Business, Feature of International Business and Approaches, and last one is Problems of Entering International Business. These are all the content I am going to take today. Let's move on to first slide. That is, first we have to know what is international business. So the international business is nothing but it is the exchange of goods and services, or it may be a resource sharing or knowledge sharing and skill among individual and businesses into two or more countries. This is the short span of international business. So the transactions that are carried out across national borders to satisfy the objectives of international individuals and organizations. So all the commercial transactions that take place between two or more countries, it may be the transaction between, it may be a private or government transaction, or it may be a sales activity for doing an investment with other countries, and it may be a logistics business, and last one is transportation. So these are all the some major transacting activities between take place two or more countries. So next one is nature of international business. Let's see the nature of international business. What are all the characteristics the international business possesses? Let's see one by one. The first nature is globalization and interconnectedness. The second nature, cultural diversity and cross-cultural interactions. Third one is legal and regulatory framework, risk and uncertainties. Next one is market entry strategy. And next, technological advancement, and last one is corporate social responsibility. So the first one is globalization and interconnectedness. So the international business is driven by globalization, which connects economics, culture and markets worldwide. So it allows goods and services and capital flow across the borders seamlessly. So second nature is cultural diversity and cross-cultural interaction. So the business must adapt to cultural differences. It may be in language or it may be in tradition and business practices. So understanding cross-cultural communication is essential for success of any organization for entering the international business. So third nature, legal and regulatory framework. International business must comply with multiple legal systems, trade policies, tariffs and regulations set by different countries. So every country have a different legal and regulatory framework. So we have to know or understand the various legal formalities where we have to do a international business. And next one is risk and uncertainty. The business is always comply with lots of risk and uncertainty. Likewise, the international business have huge risk than the domestic business because the operating cycle globally involves many political risks, currency fluctuations and economic instability also. So the companies must manage these risks strategically. And next on nature is market entry strategies. The firms using strategies such as exporting, franchising, joint venture and foreign direct investment. These are all the various market entry strategies for entering into international business. So it is also one of the important nature of international business. So next one is technological advancement. Suppose if we want to do a business globally or among other countries, means we have to improve ourselves in a technological way. So technology facilitates international trade through e-commerce, digital payments and global communication platforms. And last nature is corporate social responsibility. So the business are expected to follow some ethical practices to ensure sustainability and contribute to the social and environmental welfare of the countries they operate in. So these are all the broad explanation of nature of international business. So next we move on to features of international business. What are all the features the international business should have? So the first feature is large scale operation. Second one is integration of economics of many countries. And third feature, dominated by developed countries and MNCs. And next one is benefits to operating countries. And next feature is keen competition, social role of science and technology, international restrictions, and last one is sensitive in nature. So let's see elaborately one by one about the features. And first, the large scale operation. International business involves production and marketing activities on a global scale. So the companies operate in multiple countries, producing goods in large quantities to meet worldwide demand and reduce per unit cost through the economic scale. So large scale operation only possible for the entering into international business. So the integration of economics of many countries, second feature. So it links the economics of different nations through trade and investment and technology. The flow of goods and services and capital across borders helps in mutual economic growth and interdependence among countries. And third feature is dominated by developed countries and MNCs. So developed countries and multinational corporations play a major role in international business. So they possess advanced technology, capital, and global network. So give them a dominant position in the world markets. Next feature, benefits to participating countries. So countries engaged in the international business might gain access to modern technology, employment opportunities, foreign exchange, and variety of products. So it boosts industrial and economic development. Keen competition, it is also one of the important features of international business. So the global market creates intense competition among firms. So the company strives to offer better quality products at lower prices and continuously to innovate and maintain competitive edge. So next feature, special role of science and technology. The international business relies heavily on advancement in science and technology. Innovations in communication, transportation, and production enable faster, more efficient global operations. For it is very much helpful for the international business for their better improvement of science and technology. Next feature, international restrictions. So the business across borders is often regulated by international law, tariffs, quotas, and trade agreements. So these restrictions are imposed to protect the national interests and maintain fair trade practices. So next feature is sensitive in nature. So the international business is highly sensitive in nature to global changes such as it may be a political instability, so economic fluctuations, trade wars, and changes in government policy which can affect business operation worldwide and also the highly manner. So next we are going to discuss about approaches to international business. What are all the approaches which involved in the international business? So the EPRG is nothing but it is the ethnocentric, polycentric, regionocentric, and geocentric orientation. So based on these approaches, the international business are operating today. So the EPRG framework, which is developed by Howard Perlmutter, it explains. So the approaches is explain how the multinational companies manage their operations various across countries. So these are all the approaches to international business. So these are all the major framework for entering into the international business. Each business are following different kinds of approaches. It may be a ethnocentric approach, it may be a polycentric, or it may be a regiocentric, or it may be a geocentric orientation. Let's see one by one. So first one is ethnocentric approach. If the organization follows the ethnocentric approach, means their values and practices dominates by the home countries. Okay, what are all the where they are located or situated, that is their home country's values and practices will be dominating in the international business in the ethnocentric approach. So the belief that works in the home country will work everywhere. So the seller or marketer thinks that what is the success strategy which is applicable in our home country will be worked out in the where we are going or where we are doing the business. So they are mainly depends upon the home country where their values and practices will be dominated. So the key positions in subsidiaries are filled by the home country employees. Okay, key position is nothing but important positions of the organization will be occupied by the home country employees. Example of the ethnocentric approach is Ford applies US management policy in all its branches. So it is one of the important approaches of ethnocentric approach. So the next approach is polycentric approach. So each host country is unique and managed independently. They do not think that their home country values will be applicable in the polycentric. It is entirely unique and managed independently. So local managers are given authority to take decisions in the polycentric approach. Product and strategies are adapted to suit local needs. They not even look into the home country's values and beliefs. They are entirely different. Okay, wherever they are doing a business, they are adapt the local needs and try to satisfy their needs and wants. So this is the polycentric approach. So let's see the example. Unilever offers different products in India and Europe based on consumer preferences. We all know that Unilever company, but they are offering different products for India as well as the some other countries. So where they are doing business, they satisfy the local or particular people. So this is the polycentric approach. And regionocentric approach. Third approach is regionocentric approach, focuses on regional markets rather than individual countries. So they are not concentrate on the country base, where they are concentrate only the regional market, where we are doing the business, where we are doing the marketing activity. For they are concentrating only the regional market, regional area. So regional strategies are developed for similar market within a regions. Okay. For example, Coca-Cola designs marketing campaign tailored to regions like Asia, Pacific or Latin America. So this is the example for regionocentric. And next one is geocentric. It views world as a single market. So geocentric is it shows or it views the world as a single market. So it integrates global strategy and operation. So the best peoples are selected regardless of nationality. So for example, the IBM and Google hire global talent and maintain a unified corporate culture. So it always see or views the world as a single market. They used to take people everywhere from the world based on their talent. So the best people are selected regardless of the nationality in the geocentric approach. So these are all the major approaches of international business. Okay. Okay. Last we have to see the problems of international business. What are all the problems the international business should possess? So it is otherwise called as disadvantages of international business. The first disadvantage is adverse effect on the economy. So the international business can harm the domestic industries by increasing dependence of foreign goods and reducing local employment opportunities. So it is one of the major difficulties of international business. It actually affect the home economy. So second disadvantage or problem is competition with developed countries. So developing nations often struggle to compete with the developed countries due to lack of technology, infrastructure and capital. And third disadvantage is rivalry among nations. So international trade may cause economic and political rivalries, leading to strained relationship between countries. So it is also one of the big disadvantages for the domestic country. And next one is colonization. Historically, trade relations have sometimes lead to political domination or economic control by stronger nations. So it is also one of the biggest disadvantages of international business. And next one is exploitation. So developed nations may always exploit the resources and labors of developing countries for their own gain. So next disadvantages is legal problems. So different countries have different trade laws, leading to legal complications and disputes. So next one is publicity of undesirable fashion. So international exposure may spread harmful or undesirable cultural practice or fashion. So next barrier is language problem. So normally we have the communication barrier which leads to misunderstanding and inefficiency in the international trade. And next biggest disadvantage is dumping policy. So some countries may sell goods at very low prices in abroad and to sell to destroy local industries in importing countries. And next one is complicated technical procedure. So international trade involves complex documentation, compliances and regulation that makes it challenging for small business. Normally, whenever we are going to do a business in across borders, we have some kind of difficulty in documentation also. So it is also important disadvantage. That's all. Thank you.